Get to college athletics, got a story to tell. Coach Wilson on the mic, making dreams swell. From 7 miles in the D to athletes worldwide, talking journeys, struggles, hustle, and pride. Get to college athletics, yeah, you be making it known. Every journey, every climb, they're never alone. Coach Wilson in the chair, straight from Detroit streets, bringing that 7-mile fire, no defeat. He's got athletes talking about the.
Greetings and welcome to episode 6. We are here with
Kelsey rolls.
Kelsey. We are here with Kelsey, and also we have a special guest co-host today. We're here with.
Amelia Struber.
So if you guys haven't checked out episode 1, please go back. Amelia talks about her recruiting process and her athletic career growing up in the softball community. So if you haven't heard that one, please go check it out. So Kelsey, can you tell everyone, where you're from and what sport you play and your position?
Yeah, so I'm from Tucson. I play softball. I'm a catcher.
Okay. All right. So what year are you currently right now?
I'm a 2026.
Okay, you're 2026. So to start off, what makes a really good catcher?
Um, I think the ability to be versatile. Like I can be one knee, traditional, right knee, left knee, throw on my feet, my knees, just preparing for however like a college coach would want me. I think like being versatile is very important. I think being athletic is very important. Just being able to like change things up and just be explosive and athletic.
Okay. All right. So before we get into your training, we want to go back and dig into your background a little bit. Did you play any other sports besides softball?
I did when I was younger. I played tennis. I did a little bit of gymnastics and dance. I tried out swim for a little bit, but I kind of prefer to be able to breathe and stay above the water, so I didn't stick with that for too long, but
Okay. And when did you go full time with softball?
so I actually didn't start competitive softball until 16U, which is kind of like an interesting part of my journey, I feel like. I just didn't decide to start getting serious until I knew I wanted to play in college, which just ended up not happening until 16U. But I started probably like when I was maybe 8, just non-competitive, just having fun. But then I decided I wanted to play in college, and I just started playing competitively. So
Right. So when did that jump in? When did that jump in and say, hey, I want to play in college all of a sudden? How did that process work?
Um, you know, it's not like it hadn't been brought up in conversation. I'd been talking about it with my parents, like, but it just wasn't something I had decided to do yet. I think like my dad played baseball. I think like that influenced me a little bit, but I I wanted to, he very much let me find my journey on my own and didn't push me toward it. So I think like I just knew when I wanted to play competitively, like I don't know, like I got serious about the game and I
Right. No, I definitely understand that. Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have 2 older siblings.
Okay. And did they play sports as well?
My sister did cheer and my brother did football.
Okay. Did they go on to college or they just kind of left it in high school?
They left it in high school, but they're also a lot older than me, so I never really went through like going to their games or anything. We have like a 15-year age gap, so I'm pretty
Okay.
much like an only child.
Right. So before we move on, Amelia, do you have any follow-up questions for Kelsey?
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna talk to her about, I was gonna ask her, where do you feel like you got your motivation from? Because you started so late in the process, do you feel like that's kind of what drives you? Like, do you feel like you need to catch up to everyone, or is it just the fact that you like winning? Like, what do you feel motivates you the most?
I think it does have a little bit to do with that, like just knowing that I need to work hard every day and take advantage of every day. Um, but also just having that expectation of myself to do what it takes to achieve my goals. Cause, my goal is to play D1 softball. Like my focus is doing all I can to get there. So,
Right.
Okay, so I definitely understand that. That's definitely a good point, especially I guess it would be considered being a late bloomer. So you play travel and you play high school, I'm assuming, right?
yes, yes.
Okay, so do you think, because I know Amelia back on episode one, she talked about how the weather is kind of nice year round, and it's really made me think, other places in the country is not so fortunate. Do you think that that is a big time advantage for you down in Arizona, just having nice weather year round?
I think it is because I can get out there and get on the field and train every day and not have things like snow or anything get in the way where like in the East Coast, like you have to go inside. You can't really like do things on a field like you normally would in a game. I think it definitely helps.
Okay, so how much time are you practicing outside of, your normal team practicing?
Right. I practice every day.
Yeah, so I mean, also to talk about that, to jump on that, we're also very fortunate that we do have like a hitting facility like pretty much 2 minutes away from both of our houses because me and Kelsey live pretty close to each other. So it's funny, even if we don't, coordinate going down to the field, I'll always see her and her dad down at the field practicing. Just like the other day, I went to go help her catch throwdown, so that was kind of fun. And then they let me gear up and try it out because I've always thought it was cool, like how Kelsey, can do all these things as a catcher, and I've never tried. So it was kind of fun just to do that with her. So we have a little bit of fun with it too. But it's just nice having that facility like right next to our house. It makes everything a lot easier.
Right. I mean, that definitely would make things easier. So Kelsey, how important is the weight room to you?
I think it's definitely important in like helping me get stronger, just controlling what I can control. Like I think I can control being strong. I can control training every day. Like that's just something that I can control. And so, I go to the gym every day. I really work on that. I work on improving things I can improve anywhere I can.
Right. So, I know you're on your journey, still trying to get that scholarship. Are you struggling with, friends off the field, when you're, putting in work and missing out on school activities? How is that working out for you?
Um, I think it's definitely like a sacrifice. Like I don't go out Saturday night because I got to get up early at 6 to go to a hitting lesson in Phoenix. But that's that's fun for me. Like that's my hobby, like doing things outside of softball where it's just like training. Like that's I know that that's what I need to do to get where I want to go. So I think that that's just like a sacrifice I have to make.
R-
And
Right.
I think also having Amelia who not only is she my best friend, but we have fun and she's an incredible role model, but she's had a lot of success and she's still very humble and she grinds and all those good qualities where it's great to have in a best friend with someone has the same thoughts that I have. Getting out there and she's still like even as successful as she is, she gets out there and grinds out there with me every day.
Right. So you think it's very important, if I understand it correctly, to have your circle kind of pursuing the same goals?
Yeah, I think it's important to have people who kind of have the same mentality as you or like just like-minded goals. I think it definitely levels you up.
Right. And do you have any trainers that you use, or how does that work out?
We do. So we actually have a strength trainer. We focus a lot of just strength and agility and explosiveness, and then a hitting instructor, and I've worked with some catching instructors as well.
Okay. Amelia, I know you guys train a lot together. Do you have any training questions that you feel that people should know about?
Right. I mean, I was just gonna kind of chime in and talk to her about what specifically she thinks that she does in her training that contributes to her sport as a catcher. But I mean, she kind of already answered it with explosive weightlifting. For me, that was what was super important. I don't know what she thinks, if it was more about the agility and mobility piece, but you know,
So what do you think about that, Kelsey? What do you think is the most important, for you that really helps you as a catcher or in softball in general?
I definitely think like all the explosive movements that we do translates into like specifically being a catcher. Like it helps me be explosive. It helps me like be durable, stay injury free. It definitely helps like my arm strength. Like I think like all the explosive movements and strength movements we do combined like directly contributes to the field as well.
Okay. So here at the Get to College Athletic Podcast, we like to have different mindsets and, different recruiting process where people stand at that current time. And so what are you doing to get noticed to make sure that you achieve your goal as being a Division I softball player?
I think like I think reaching out to schools um who some who have seen me play, some who haven't, but just getting a feel of like um their interests and going out and just giving myself a chance to show what I have, show who I am.
Right. So are you also doing any camps or anything else that will give you that exposure?
So that includes camps. Like I'll reach out to coaches, I'll send them videos, show them what I have of me, encourage them to review them. Like if I get a response saying that they like my actions or they've seen me play or they want to invite me to a camp, then those are the ones more that I focus on going to rather than just like, hey, come out to a camp. Like I I go to camps where I can genuinely see myself playing and where I know there's genuine interest as well.
Right. So, I mean, that definitely makes sense. You definitely want to have some interest. So, but what would you say is the number one important thing for you at looking at a university?
I think definitely the number one criteria for me is a quality business program. Um, I want to major in business and have a finance minor. I think like business gives me options, whether it's finance, marketing, accounting, or general business. So I think that that's very important for me because that's what I want to do after softball.
Right. Amelia, you got anything to add to that?
yeah, no, I mean, just to hop on that about Kelsey, she's very driven. So I'm not surprised at all that she wants to be in the business program. I feel like she's someone who, likes to take charge of the field. So I think that's very cool and interesting that she also applies that outside of that. And I was just gonna ask you what else do you look for in a team? Like, is it the culture? Is it just like the vibe? Like, what is it about, a team specifically that you want to see when you go out?
I think also just looking for like that team chemistry where like it looks like they put the team first, a team where they hang out off the field, like where my friends
Right.
are my teammates.
Right. You want a family, when you go out there, a home away from home, basically.
Yes, uh-huh.
Right. I've always felt like chemistry is very underrated. I've always felt like that in any sport. I think chemistry is very important. Now, what about location, Kelsey? Are you willing to go anywhere in America or you want to stay in certain areas? How do you feel about that part? Have you thought about location?
I'm open anywhere from East Coast to West Coast. Like I'm pretty open to it. I know that like wherever I go, it's going to be a different experience. So, I'm just excited to see wherever.
Okay. So we always like to, when we close it out, we always like to give an opportunity for you to give any advice or any regrets that you may have to anyone that's listening that you could help in their journey as well. And real quick before we do this, I do want to just give you a shout out because I know that you share other athletes, posts and things like that. And I really like when athletes do that because, some athletes just think, hey, it's about me. I don't want to put anybody else on my page. So I like when I see other athletes support each other. So I do just want to give you a shout out for that. But if you got anything that you would like to add, I would really appreciate it.
Okay, I mean, I think like what really helps me personally is like if I'm struggling or anything, like I think my faith and visualization has really helped me through like those difficult moments, just like seeking strength and stillness from God, or also just visualizing playing on the field, like making that play, hitting off that pitcher. Like I think it gives you some confidence, um, and can really just help you through those like pressure situations as well.
So it sounds like faith is important to you. Is am I reading that correctly?
Yes, uh-huh.
Okay, absolutely. That's good. So, Amelia, do you have anything before we close it out?
No, I mean, I think that's it. I think Kelsey did a great job, answering truthfully to all these questions, and I relate to all of them very well because I've been with her through the whole thing. So, it was kind of cool getting to interview her.
And that's a wrap on episode 6, everyone. Thanks again for listening. I want to thank Kelsey for coming on to the podcast, for taking the time out. And I also want to thank Amelia for coming on and co-hosting with us as well. And also for introducing us to Kelsey and making this podcast possible. If you want to learn more about Amelia, we have her on episode 1. So please feel free to go back and listen to that episode. Also, on one final note, our new website is up again. So that's get2collegeathletics.net. That's get2collegeathletics.net. And that 2 is the number 2. So please feel free to check out our website as well. Once again, thanks for listening and have a great day.
Get to college athletics, got a story to tell. Coach Wilson on the mic, making dreams swell. From 7 miles in the D to athletes worldwide, talking journey, struggles, hustle, and pride. Get to college athletics, yeah, you be making it known. Every journey, every climb, they're never alone. Coach Wilson in the chair, straight from Detroit streets, bringing that 7 mile fire, no